Hey, this is George G. Welcome to George G's Room of Rock. How's everyone doing out there today? Hope having a nice weekend. The weekend's here. It's beautiful weather here in the Northeast, which is nice. Still summery, but just 82 and just not like crazy humid, super hot. All right, today's video is what I was thinking about since we lost Ozzy Osbourne last month. It's just why do certain musicians, their deaths hit us harder than others? And it's not like, and I'm not comparing this, so people wonder, I'm not comparing this to you losing a loved one, your family member, you know, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, or, you know, God forbid your kids or spouses, or anything like that, or best friends, or friends that you've known forever. I'm not talking about that. That's a totally different kind of thing. That's a whole personal thing, and that's more of a loss to you than anything else. But something about musician's death really just, you know, makes you feel sad. But why do certain ones hit you harder than others? So I have compiled the 6 musicians that passed in my time that I remember that hit me the most. I mean, I have a little collage at the end here of certain other ones that passed away too. That just to at the end of the video, there'll be a little bit of collage of other musicians that passed. But you know, can't get them all in there. But there's certain ones. Most are hard rock and metal ones. So that's what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna go over 6 of them that, you know, when they passed, how I felt at the time. And so I thought this was an interesting video to do. So anyway, the first one, this drummer passed away on November 24th, 1991. And it was Eric Carr from Kiss. And his death was very surprising, because, you know, he was only 41. And he died of, you know, had brain hemorrhage, he had cancer and heart cancer, and that just, you know, things happened, he had complications. And the sad thing is he died in the same day as Freddie Mercury, so, which is sad too. But I wasn't into Queen at the time when Freddie died. And it's a sad thing too. I mean, he was a great voice too. But as far as Eric Carr goes, I mean, it's the first album I heard from him, the first album I ever got, period. But he was the first one I was on, and he jumped from here till, you know, Hot in the Shade. And he finally got to sing on this one too. And it was just, you know, it was really just surprising, because, you know, my sister had told me that, oh, Eric Carr passed, or one of the Kiss guys passed away. I'm like, what do you mean one of the Kiss guys passed away? So she didn't know which one it was, because she didn't know. But it was just like, you know, and this wasn't, it was on MTV and stuff like that. We didn't read it. There was no internet and stuff like this back then for that to look it up. There's tribute stuff like that, you know, magazines and stuff, and the band was, you know, gutted by it. And the first time I was like, you know, wow, you know, how can he, you know, so young and this happened, you know, to a promising musician who was, you know, I never got to meet, who I'd love to have met. But that was a sad one for me, because I was like, you know, and I have, you know, here, maybe seen this in my other shot, before, I've seen this before. My sister made this for me when he passed. So this is a very important piece here. My sister painted the Eric Carr makeup, non-makeup stuff. So that's how much it meant to me that he passed. I put some pins on there from his era. And there it is. But yeah, he was the first one that really, like, you know, hit me hard. And just a sad thing, and you don't, you know, to realize that how much, you know, these musicians might mean to you, even though they never met them. You don't even know them personally, but you know them personally. So they kind of have a certain part of your life. You grew up with them. So that was like Eric Carr was the first one I thought of. Next one was, this one passed in between. But these are the ones that really was. This one, he left us in May 16, 2010. This is a while later, but the mighty Ronnie James Dio. So that one hit me hard. One of my favorite singers of all time. I knew he was like sick, and we all knew he wasn't feeling well. He had stomach cancer, but, you know, we thought he'd pull through. He was at some award show not too long before he passed, and then he just, you know, and then just passed on. You know, he wasn't a young man, but he could have lived longer. I mean, you know, things happen. And I mean, I got into him from this album here. So, Last in Line, and, you know, there's a mighty Dio. But such a sad, it's a sad loss to just the music world. He was had a great voice and a great personality. I have his autograph here, right there, when I met him, and the rest of the, you know, Vinny and Geezer and sorry, Geezer's here and Tony's here. But Ronnie was the one that talked to me. And I had told the story before, and a signing for the Heaven and Hell when the album came out. Their Radio City Music Hall, I think, and I had him sign that. And that's what that picture's from. And he was talking to me. He liked the Yankee shirt I was wearing, and he shook my hand. I was just like, and it was just the weirdest thing because there I am with Tony Iommi. He's a butler. Tony's Iommi's like, legendary. I mean, he's made, the riff master there. And I was just like, oh my God, it's Dio. I'm looking, it's just Dio. I was amazed, awestruck by Dio. And he was such a nice guy. It's a genuine guy. And I was just like, so sad when he passed away. It's just like, it just hits you. Certain musicians don't lie. He was one of them. That's because I met him too, so I got to meet him once, and I seen him only one time live. But besides our car too, I saw him 3 times, I believe. 2 times I saw him live. But anyway, I saw him once live, and it's just so sad to see him go. And anyway, the next one that really was sad to me, and the whole band is gone now, the original band, because this gentleman died 28th of December 2015, and it's Lemmy from Motorhead. You didn't think Lemmy was ever going to die. You thought that the cigarettes and the Jack Daniels kept him alive all the time. And I got into him from mostly this album here. So it's Lemmy was an icon. He was like, people all knew Lemmy from, he would do so much for other people, playing other people's albums. He would just write for other people, write for Ozzy. And it was a terrific songwriter. I don't think he gets much credit for being such a good songwriter. Because he doesn't just sing he just wrote about stuff about just Motorhead. But he has some tender lyrics too. He could write a good song. But he's an icon. Everyone knew he was. And everyone was sad. And he started a whole different kind of genre. He almost started, thrash metal, sort of, with the music from Motorhead was. With help from other bands, too. But he kind of, spearheaded. All the thrash bands really looked up to Motorhead. And Lemmy did a great thing. You got Filthy Animal is gone, too. So he's Fats Eddie Clark. They all died. Not too far from each other. But, Lemmy was a sad one to lose, too. It just kind of, these artists don't live forever, but you kind of want them to. Because they're in there, but they're always alive to you when you listen to their music. The next one that I'm talking about, which was really a super shock, because I didn't even know he was even sick. He died on the 7th of January 2020, and it was, let me get the picture of it. Neil Peart. So, fantastic drummer, and it was just totally wow. I mean, how did Neil Peart die? He died in a horrible way, the brain thing, especially with a guy that was such a smart guy, and to have that happen, and then he died from a brain problem where he had forgot. I guess I don't know what happened towards the end, but I heard he was really in bad shape. And I got it to Rush Chronicles here, but this is one of my favorite ones from the first album he was on. It's Fly By Night, and when he passed, people were just like, what? And I remember watching Pete Parler. He was like almost in tears, That's how much, these musicians can touch you, that you can almost be in tears if someone dies, who's not no one you've ever met, but they just touch you because they've been part of your life for so many years. It's really amazing and crazy how that happens to you. But it is what it is. We're all going to go. But anyway, the next one is another one that shocked me that passed away. Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitar players ever, too. It's like Neil was one of the greatest drummers ever. And I knew he had tongue cancer. I thought he was okay. But, he went. Him gone is just another one. I was just like, how could Eddie be gone? He just innovated guitar for all these, all the hair metal bands, really. And hair metal bands can play. They're really good guitar players, But, yeah, he influenced so many people. I mean, he influenced, what's his name? The name escaped from Morbid Angel, guitar player from Trey, I believe. Even he was, thankful for him for his guitar playing. So that's he touched so many people with his guitar playing. And Eddie did so much with the Ridge Van Halen and with the Van Hagar stuff. And he was just a special guy there. Just Eddie died on October 6th, 2020. So I just couldn't believe it. Eddie was too young too. He was, he was only in his 60s. He wasn't old. But, amazing. Just the mark he left on the world of music. And and a lot of musicians, they don't even get the respect from the mainstream. Like, they barely talked about him when when he's doing all these guys that talk about dying. Oh, they barely talked about him. They're like, whatever, you're not important. But that for the rock metal community, he was important, very important, and very talented. So and then of course the last one is the one we just experienced. Last month. July 22nd, the Mighty Ozzy. That one really hit me hard. I didn't think it would hit me as hard as it did, but it was really, really upsetting. There's so much stuff about it because he actually got the tribute he deserved. The other guys did not get. First, album him was that one. First thing I got into him, but this is enough said about Ozzy. It's like he's an icon, and and he started a whole genre with the band, with Black Sabbath, and what would music be like without him and the band? What would we be listening to? Would we have the same kind of music? I don't know. It would be different. Be quite different. It won't be as heavy. Won't be as important. So that's why he's an important icon. And we knew he was really sick for a long time. But glad he got to do his final show with his solo band and with Sabbath, and just to say goodbye. And he probably knew it. And that's why he's doing them on borrowed time. So they let him, the powers that be let him do it one more time for the fans. And it was just, a sad thing to see. And I don't think it'd be that, I would be that upset about it. It's like I'm crying about it. You get teary-eyed a little bit, when you hear the tributes and stuff. For all these guys, you get teary-eyed. Like I said, it's not the same as a family member or something, or a friend. But it gets you here because they're part of your life. Because you listen to music all the time. All these bands, so many musicians have passed away that they grew up with you and you grew up with them, and they're part of you all the time. And they're always there for you. You can always relive them. I mean, you can do the same thing if you're into actors or actresses. If they pass away, you can just always watch their movies. Music's a little different. I think actors are just playing a part. Like, I was upset when Carrie Fisher died and James Earl Jones died, and these Star Wars fans. I was a huge Star Wars fan. I was sad, but musicians are different because the music is part of them. It's part of who they are. Actors they're playing a part. I mean, they put their stuff into it, but musicians are different. They put themselves into their music and they write from the heart, and they do things they know they should do right for themselves, and that's what they put into their music and make us, we should, appreciate it, everything they've done and all the stuff. So, so cheers to all them, all the passings, the ones I talked about, ones that I'm going to mention in the video, and the ones I didn't put in the video. I mean, I forgot a few about AJ Pero from Twisted Sister, all the Skinner guys, Robin Crosby from Rat. I missed them in a little bit, short little minute long video, only after this is done. But that's it. So if you comments, tell me musicians that really touch your life, that really feel sad that they're gone, because there's so many of them and there's so many I missed. And even the recent Brent Hines from Mastodon. I'm not a huge Mastodon fan, but it's sad as young. Motorcycle accidents. I mean, I don't know what the details were, but still, it's just tragic. It shouldn't happen this way. But it does. But the music's here forever, and music for us to enjoy, and they're always here. So that's my video. Again, the comments, tell me what you think of the people you've liked and admired. And I always end this with say, keep rock and metal alive. But you know what? Keep these musicians alive, and they're always with you. All you have to do is drop your needle down, push play on, CD player, or whatever you're doing, whatever you put on your phone, whatever you do it, or your cassette player even, and they're always there for you. The music is forever, and legends never die. Take it easy, guys.